Okay, so in the last video, we created a cool thing where we basically added some UI kind of stuff. So I've now got a text box, a couple of text boxes. I've set the focus so it's all kind of nice, and we can add people to my database. And if we have a little look inside the database, it's growing quite nicely now. There's lots of customers. The last one was Liz, and we've got lots of ages with unique IDs. Okay. Now, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a list box which displays all of that information. Now, I'm choosing a list box because it's very simple. I would expect you to use something a little bit more involved, just to kind of give you an example of some of the tools that you can use. Okay, so I've just gone to my toolbox. Oh, let's get rid of the tab view. Can we get rid of the tab view? Or maybe not. I don't know. Right, toolbox. So I'm going to use a list view. No, not a list view. A list box. Okay, just because. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, hang on. I need to get rid of my tab view somehow. Can we get rid of? Where's tab view? Can we see it in there? Oh, right. I'll get rid of that. Right, I found it. So you can go tab order. There it is. And to turn it off before you can have to do something, you just click it again, like that. Right, so I'm going to add my list box. Where was it? List box. There we go. Okay. Now, list box doesn't do anything particularly exciting. You can just add to it, and it just adds stuff. Okay. Now, what I would expect you to use is you could use a list view, which allows you to do something that looks a little bit like this. Let's just kind of go there. So you can, this is a list view, so you can kind of change, so you can have a list, or you can have details, so you can have different things across the top if you want. I think there's also something called a grid view as well. Yeah, data grid view. Now that also hooks up to a database, although I'm not quite sure how it works. But it's just, you know, something to think about. Okay, I would expect you to do something a little bit more involved than the list box. I'm just using a list box because it's easy, and I don't really want this video to be about widgets. I want this video to be about databases and populating things. Now, when I initialize my form in the form load, what I want to do is I want to go to the database, get all the customers, and populate them into my table. Okay. Now, I'm going to start here because what I actually want is I want a function. Now, I'm not quite sure what it's going to return just yet, so I'm going to just keep it void. But it's going to be called get customers. Okay, and it's basically going to get all of the customers at this stage. Okay, I'm going to keep it nice and simple. So first things we need to do is we need a command. So we can just use that. So copy and paste. And then my string, my command text is going to be basically select star from customers. Okay. Now, it's a select, so it's going to use this idea here. We're going to have a data set, and we're going to fill it. Now, I'm sort of thinking that I want my own version of a customer, because the thing is, the data set is just a bit clunky. So I'm going to define my own type, and I'm going to define it in here. So I'm going to create, I think I'm going to create a struct. Okay, it's just going to be a record, and it's going to be a customer, one customer, like this. Okay, and it's going to have two things in it. It's going to have their name, and it's going to have their age. Okay, and this is just going to make my life easier. Now, I'm also thinking that instead of returning an array, and we could make an array, but arrays are horrendous. So I'm going to use a list of customer. Okay, so that's what it's going to make. So now I need to declare one. Okay, and I'm going to call it customers equals new list customer. Okay, right. Okay, so now I'm going to start going through this data set. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is my data table equals the data set. Oh, there we go. Look, it's even done it for me. It's the first table. There's only one table. Basically, what this thing's going to look like is it's going to return a table that looks like this. Okay, only now it's going to return actually more. And we can actually have a look at what it's going to look like. Okay, it's going to return, because I'm going to get everything. It's actually going to return. So I'm going to get everything, but I'm going to show you how I can change this. So it's going to basically return that. Okay. So let's go back to my database. So here we go. So that's the table. So now what I want to do is I want to kind of loop through. So for each data row in the table, and this is where I'm just going to consult my worksheet here, because this is where we can use, because we've got multiple things going on here, we can use this dictionary thing. Okay, so I'm going to type it in. So firstly, so we've got int. I'm actually going to create a new customer. Here we go. Equals new customer. Okay, so that's my struct. Okay, and what I'm going to say is customer.id. Oh no, we'll just go name. I'm not even going to bother with the ID. Equals, here we go, row. I think I can go like that. Name dot string. And I just need to check that I've got the right value there. So it's called name with a capital N. Well, I don't think that. Oh, hang on, why is that doing that? Oh, table dot rows. There we go. I don't think that it's case sensitive in SQL, but you just never know. And why is that saying that? String.name is a name. Why is that doing that? Represents text is inaccessible due to protection level. Oh, right, okay. So these are private, so I just need to make these public. And then we can do this, public. A struct, by the way, is very similar to a class. Right, okay, and then customer.age equals, well, we've got to convert this into an int, convert.toInt 32. And we want row, and it is age, because in my table it's called age, but with a capital A, so let's do that right. Oops. Age. You've got to make it to string, because otherwise it just doesn't kind of work. Right, there we go. So for each of them, create one of them, and then I'm going to add it to my list. So customers, so this is my list up here, there. Customers dot add. This is how you add to a list. Customer, and it's cool. It's kind of done it for me in the 22. And then finally, all I need to do now, when I've gone through and got all my customers, I just need to return my customers. So now I've got a list of structures which are of type customer, and that's what my customer looks like. So that's the function that's going to get me all the customers. Now notice that this is inside my customers database class. So now I'm going to come back to my actual customers, and when the form loads, well, do you know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to create a function to do this, to populate that list, because I'm going to need to populate the list lots. So I'm going to call it populate list, listbox. Okay. Now the first thing I need to do is give my listbox a useful name, because at the moment it's called listbox1, and I don't want to do that. So where's its name? Come on, name. There we go, listbox. We'll call it customers. Okay. Enter. Right. So here we go. Listbox customers dot text equals quotations. Now I've just remembered something. one of the things that you need to do on list boxes is you need to decide if they're going to be multi-line or not. So let's just see if I can find that. Can you see where it says single line or multi-line? Ooh. Oh no, we might be okay. Oh right, I know what it is. It's not dot text. I'm just remembering. Here we go. It's dot. Is it items? There we go. Dot clear. So we're going to clear all the items. And now I'm going to say, so I'm going to get, so I need a list of customer. And this is customers equals. Now, this is where it's really cool because now I'm going to say customers. This is my database. Oh, hang on. I'll call it DB customers equals customers dot get customers. Okay, that's going to get all the customers, and then all I need to do is go for each customer. Do you know what? I'm just going to call it. Yeah, you see, I can't. Oh, yeah, I can call it customer. In DB customers. I'm liking this autocomplete. Right, here we go. Oh my goodness, look, it's actually done it for me. Listbox customers dot items dot add customer. Ah, right, no, it's not quite that. Right, add. Now it's going to be customer dot. I want the name, then a space, then customer dot age. Okay, I want to kind of add all of the information there. Right, let's see if this works. So I need to put this in here now, and I'm going to do it when the form loads. I'm also going to add my populate here. So every time I add something, it's going to add it to my list. So let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Right, brilliant, it's done it. Bob, Sue, Malika, Jane, Harry, Liz. And let's go for Bernard, who's 12. Why not? Tab, submit. Bernard has now been added. So what's going on here is as we click submit, it's adding it to the database using my insert function. Okay, so let's just, I tell you what, let's just have a little, let's just go step through it. Okay, so let's add Bernard, and Gerald. Let's go for old names. Is 978. Here we go. Submit. Right. So what's happened is we've already created our customers database class. Okay. So we've got the name, we've got the age, and now we're going to add that to my customers. So here we go. So we're going to get the next ID. So the next ID selects the maximum ID from customers. It fills the data set, we get the table out of the data set, we get the row out of the table set, and we get the first element out, which gives us the ID. So the current highest ID is 8. So the next one is going to be 9. We then insert, so we get our command, we create our command text, and we execute it. So my command text in this particular case is that, insert into customers values 9, Gerald 978. And then we're going to clear the text box down. We're going to focus it back on the text box name so that for the next time, and then we're going to do our populate. So here's our populate. So we're going to clear the item and create a list of customers, and we're going to get those customers. Here we go. So create a command, select from customers. That's going to be the SQL command that we call. Populate the data set. Now we create a list of customers. So we're going to get the table. Then for each row in the table, we're basically going to say the customer is a new, so we have to create a new customer, otherwise we can't add it to my list. So the age is going to be, the name is going to be the name. The age is going to be the age from the row. And then that has created me an object that looks like this. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Hang on. Static members. Oh my goodness. Hang on. Oh, no, it's customers. Sorry, there we go. That's what I wanted. There we go. So I've got a customer here. So it's age 23 and Bob, although I'm not quite sure. Oh, that's right. We get that. So that's the first element. That's this one here. So we're getting this one here. So that's going to add it. And it's just going to keep doing that for each customer, adding them to my list. Okay. And eventually it's going to return the customers and we drop out here. So now I've got a list of 9 customers. Okay. There they all are. And we can see them. There's the first one. There's the second one. There's the last one, Gerald. Okay. And then for each of those customers, it's literally going to just add that now to my list box. And hey presto, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to stop there.